Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? This one's a real sad one, and this shows that these predators aren't just limited to men. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why are these guys so evil? Why are they doing all these terrible things? Yes, men are the majority of these type of predators, at least in my opinion, anecdotal opinion at least. But women do it as well. And so when we're protecting our children, we need to protect our children from everyone, all right? We need to go out there and make sure that we're vetting the people that are around us and that we're educating our children. Because remember, you can't vet everybody, right? And life has to happen in this world. You know, you're going to have to leave your children at daycare because you have to go to work because that's the society and the world that we live in. You're going to have to take your kids to school and walk away from the school and just pray and hope that the teachers who are there and the administrators that are there and the janitors and all the people, the security guards, all these people are on the up and up and are willing to treat your children with dignity and respect. Life happens, right? But you also have to educate your children. You have to make sure your children understand that their body is sacred, and if anybody is saying something to them that's inappropriate or trying to do something to them that's inappropriate, that they have the wherewithal and the courage to come forward and say, hey, listen, this person's looking at me funny, or this person's saying inappropriate things to me, so that we as parents and society can nip it in the butt before it goes any further. So that being said, here's a TikTok teacher, a teacher that had TikTok fame, who's now being accused of sexually abusing one of her students. Let's talk about it.
You might remember her as the teacher who went viral for her rap verse to celebrate school being back after COVID.
Far as this teaching go, I am unreachable. I'm number one in your top 10. Miss Williams, been popping. 2020 new school, you're dropping. No COVID-19, ain't worried about a thing when economy ain't no stop.
The years after.
See, this is a problem I have with those type of teachers that do these kind of things, is you're using people's children for your own financial benefit. So that was like a really sleekly and expensively produced video that I just watched. I've never seen that before personally. But I don't feel like you should, as a teacher, bring your children into this frame and then use them for their own personal financial gain or entertainment value or whatever, or ego boost, whatever. Just like I would never consider bringing somebody I've worked with in the past to come on my show and talk about their experience or something. To me, that'd be exploitative. I would never do that. That would be something I'd do like after long retiring and the person reaches out and says, yo, I'm 100% comfortable with this. Case has been adjudicated. Maybe we could rehash that, but certainly not at this juncture. I find that very troubling. Let's keep going.
After that video was released, the rapping teacher faces serious charges of sexually assaulting a student.
Wow.
Adriana Cobb Williams was arrested for 2 counts of sexual assault by teacher last December. And the former teacher/content creator has been out on bond since, but this week pleaded not guilty to the shocking crime. After the allegations came to light, the fallout was swift. According to WALB, Williams was placed on administrative leave about a week prior to her arrest. Then she resigned from her position within the Dougherty County school system in lieu of termination just 4 days prior to being arrested. Months later, in August of this year, Williams was indicted by a grand jury. And the grand jury indictment would reveal more into the troubling and disturbing allegations.
Right. Big shout out to Law and Crime, whose presentation we're using. They got the info. They got the goods. Appreciate you. Please subscribe to Law and Crime. Show love to their channel. I don't know how you could be into true crime and not be subscribed to Law and Crime. This is like the staple of true crime, really. Like everybody either listens it. Some of our favorite content creators, they actually go on Law and Crime and guest on these shows. So listen, man, I'm a big fan of Law and Crime. It is what it is. Let's keep going.
Under count 1, Williams is accused of knowingly kissing the student. And under count 2, Williams is accused of knowingly performing oral sex on the same student.
Jesus.
According to court papers, one of the alleged incidents happened between November 1st and November 30th of last year. And the second alleged incident occurred on December 2nd. Both incidents involved the same student who was a senior at Monroe Comprehensive School, where Williams was a teacher. And while Williams was known for her wholesome content,
Let's go right now. Let's go. We are about to play musical chairs. What do y'all think this game represents already? Scarcity. Why? How? Not enough what? Chairs. What do the chairs represent? Our resources.
she's facing a decades-long sentence behind bars. And here's what else we know about the former teacher.
And I'll tell you this, if she did that, because remember, we're innocent until proven guilty, I know sometimes we talk like people are just guilty. Even Stephen Stearns is innocent until proven guilty. I mean, at the end of the day, that's part of our Constitution. We got to respect our Constitution, our laws, right? But if she's guilty of what she did, which, man, this is damning accusations made against her, she deserves every single second, minute, hour, day, week, month, year of that sentence. That she is one of those people who have boundary issues. Hence, look at her. She's got Jordans on. These are little kid shoes. These are $250 little kid Jordan 11 shoes. How do I know this? I used to work at Foot Locker when I was a little kid. Remember my age, all these sneakers came out when I was working in these places and I was a teenager. So I remember them. But these are little kid shoes. She's over here dressing like a child. She's over here using social media like a child. She's over here relating with these kids like she's a kid. She has boundary issues. If she did what she did to that child who was sent to that school by his parents and entrusted, the school was entrusted and she was entrusted to keep this child protected and safe. But instead, she decided to put her nasty lips on that kid. Ladies and gentlemen, if she is guilty of what they are accusing her of doing, she deserves every single second of that sentence. And I hope that they are harsh with it. I hope they put the hammer down on her, because unlike that stranger that pulls you into an alleyway with a gun in your back and forces you to do horrible things, this person was supposed to know better. This person was entrusted to know better. She was entrusted to know better. She almost gave an oath. She didn't give an oath. Teachers don't give an oath. But it's almost like she gave an oath to protect and serve our children. Almost. She is one of the most trusted people, or at least she was supposed to be one of the most trusted people on the planet. We trust our doctors. We trust our teachers. That's why a female could go to a male gynecologist, lay back on a gurney, open herself up and allow this doctor to diddle down in those areas, because she understands, yes, that's a man, but he is a man that has taken an oath to do no harm. And he's down there to make sure that she's healthy and make sure that she can, not have cancer, give birth to children, whatever the issue may be, just to check up. She understands that this doctor is mature enough and professional enough and learned enough to not think anything untoward, to do his job. That's the same thing we think of teachers. We give them our most precious cargo in the hope that come 3 o'clock when that bell rings, we could get that cargo back safe and unharmed. And this lady betrayed us all. But most importantly, she betrayed that student. Let's keep going.
According to her LinkedIn, she was a teacher at Monroe Comprehensive School within the Dougherty County School System in Albany, Georgia, from July 2017 up until her resignation last year in December. After she tendered her resignation, the school district released a statement writing, quote, "The Dougherty County Board of Education voted unanimously to accept the resignation of Adriana Williams in lieu of termination, with the understanding that the district will submit the appropriate reports to the Georgia Professional Standards Commission." And while there, she was also the cheerleader.
And that's important, because if you don't submit this stuff to those professional standards boards, then people can just go and get another job in another county. So basically, what they're looking to do is have her decertified as a teacher, period, statewide. And so that would prevent her from ever being a teacher again, at least in that state. But most often, if you're decertified in a state, other states will pick up on that, and they will not allow you to be certified in their state as well. So she effectively has lost her career as a teacher in the United States of America. Let's keep going.
Coach, and featured some of her students and cheerleaders in social media videos that racked up hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok. But since she resigned amid the sexual assault allegations, her content has made a turn, now featuring videos of her husband and their young child as she seemingly rebranded as a family vlogger.
Are you kidding me? This guy stayed with this woman? This husband of hers stayed with her even though she's being accused of molesting a little boy. Wow. I mean, listen, I get she's innocent until proven guilty, right? She is innocent till proven guilty, but wow, like, you don't have questions, bro? I would have some hard questions, man. I would have some real hard questions. I'll be there for every single court date, not just looking to support you, but looking at what that prosecutor has to say. I think I need some space, kind of figure this out a little bit, like, hey, I still love you, But I got to figure out what's going on here. Wow, these guys be simping out here, man. I'm sorry. Let's keep going.
And despite facing serious charges and accusations, the former teacher, now content creator, hasn't slowed down from posting videos.
Wow.
But she might want to lay low, as Cobb Williams faces up to 10 years in prison if convicted on each count. Let's bring on criminal defense attorney Kathleen Bogenschutz to break down this case even further. Kathleen, thank you so much for joining me today. You know, Adriana Cobb Williams went viral for her rap video welcoming the kids back to school during the times of COVID. Was it shocking to you to hear that she is charged with sexually assaulting a student?
I think it's shocking to hear any teacher would be charged with it. Shocking, but not surprising, considering the news of recent years. And it's no longer terribly surprising that it's a female teacher. It's just...
All right, I'm kind of jealous of this lawyer. Like, I like her chair. I need a chair like this. I got like this kind of cheap Amazon office chair kind of thing going on. Kind of makes me real sweaty under these lights. I'm not going to go into any more detail. I want this chair. This is an executive chair, man. Let's put that on a list.
When you go through the videos that she made and how much time she clearly spent with her students, as a former prosecutor, like it's clear that the opportunity was there.
Absolutely. The trust was there.
The betrayal.
The trust was there too. The trust was there, and that makes sense. She's about to see the betrayal because the opportunity was there, the trust was there, and like this attorney says, the betrayal was there.
Of a teacher actually taking advantage of that opportunity.
Yes.
And, you know, the allegations are pretty disturbing, especially given her online persona, her upbeat personality that she portrays on social media. But she's accused of, you know, sexual contact, kissing the student, sexual contact again, performing oral sex on the same.
This big grown woman putting her mouth on that little boy, man. Listen, I hate the pedos, guys. I hate the pedos. I'm gonna keep saying it till you guys start believing me. All I see in the chat is we believe you. We believe you, Strategic. You hate the pedos. I want to see the whole chat just say, we believe you, Strategic. You hate the pedos, because I hate the pedos. This old woman, old man, whatever, I'm not shaming anybody, but this grown woman married with a husband and a baby of her own in her home, putting her mouth on this child. Shame on this woman. Send this woman to jail. I'm sorry.
Student, what are your thoughts on just the nature of the disturbing allegations she faces while still kind of portraying this persona on social media?
So just a little bit of history. A lot of these laws have changed even in the past 10 to 15 years. About 10 or 11 years ago, I started in sex crimes, and I'm in Florida, but a lot of states have changed their laws, and Georgia has done so as well.
God bless you for dedicating your law professional career to sex crimes. Really got a lot of respect for everybody who works in the world of sex crimes. We don't get enough recognition. Everybody talks about homicide and narcotics because that's what the movies are mostly built on. But sex crimes is putting in that work. We getting those predators off the street. We're getting all those dirty predators off the street, because guess what? I could pick up 1 million people and I can say, what would you rather, be robbed in the middle of the night or raped in the middle of the night? They're going to choose rob. Take everything. Rob me down to my underwear. I'm good to go. Nobody wants to experience what we have to investigate. And they're very difficult, very heart-wrenching cases. And we're getting these pedos off the street, man. Let's keep going. And, you know, when I say pedos, I mean all those predators. I mean, pedos, we know what those are. But all the predators from young to adults, whether you're attacking children, you're attacking adults, we're going to come get you. We're going to come get you. And just like I said in that other video, we need to figure out what to do with those folks. Depending on what you do, we need to treat you like how Florida treats these folks. It needs to be a death penalty. And I'm going to even amend what I said before, not just a death penalty for people who assault children 13 and under or under 13 like Florida does. If it is a violent sexual assault against a woman or a man or whoever, because men do get sexually assaulted too. We get a lot of LGBTQIA cases, and they're just as horrible as anything else, and they deserve justice as well. And in those instances, many of those instances is mostly men in that spectrum who are the victims. They need to be acknowledged. They need to be seen. They need to be heard as well. Also, straight men that are being sexually abused, they need to be heard as well. But let's be serious here. The vast majority of victims are women, or at least reported victims, because I think men are underreported. But if you assault anyone, regardless of gender, and that person's in a hospital with serious injuries, as in you beat them up, you shot them, you stabbed them, or even if your attack caused internal injuries of that person because they did not want you to do that to them, and so there was the force hurt them on the inside, I think you should also receive capital punishment. I think it should be a capital case if you cause serious physical injury to a person in the process of sexually assaulting them. If you don't, then let's not talk that. I don't want people going to jail and dying and getting the needle if that's not the case. But if you are a monster where you had to hurt the person and you were willing to hurt the person in order to take from them what was never meant for you, you should get capital punishment. In this case, I would not agree with capital punishment unless the child was below the age of 13, just like Florida. And if that's the case, then bye-bye, Miss Teacher. She needs to face the same thing as Stephen Stearns is facing. But it appears that the child may have been older than 13. I'm not too sure, because they seem to just be giving her up to 10 years in prison. If that child was under the age of 13 in any state of the United States of America, it would have been much more steeper penalty. That 13 is like the magic number. When under 13, 12 and under, it's like that magic number where the penalties go really high. So when you see people facing something like 10 years, it's usually because that child was above the age of 13. I could be wrong. I don't know what the laws are in this particular state. Could be wrong, but that's what I surmise. Let's keep going with my mind's eye. Let's keep going.
To include 18-year-old students in this, in that it is also a crime to have any kind of sexual contact with an 18-year-old, just as much as it's a crime to have sexual contact with a 17-year-old. And one of the elements of that offense is that you are in a position of authority over that student, and that student attends your high school. So when I say we, former prosecutors and my old unit, we used to get in teachers that were having consensual relationships with 18-year-olds they were teaching, and there wasn't a way to go after them. So they've kind of tightened up those laws.
As they should. I don't care if my child is 18 years old and they're an adult and they could be dating a 40-year-old person out in the street. That 40-year-old person, who I might add is a piece of crap if they're going to be doing that, that person is not in a position of authority over my child. Teachers should not be engaging in relationships with students under any circumstances unless it's in college. And even then, I think it's terrible. Even then, I think it's terrible. I don't think you should be criminally charged because there are people who are 22, 25 years old in college. But I think that it should be an ethical violation where you should receive some type of discipline as a professor on your job. I just don't feel like people in a position of authority over others should be able to engage in illicit relationships with them, regardless of their age. I don't think bosses should be able to deal with subordinates. I don't think that either. I just think that there's something just unfair and disgusting about it. Now, some people will disagree with me. Maybe you married your boss. I don't know. And it's working out and you had the best life possible. I just don't think that it's right. But anyway, few more seconds, call it a day.
You could try to go after, it's a familial or custodial relationship, but then if they weren't in the class, if they're just another teacher at the school, they had them in the past, there's no way to go after somebody like this. So you'll see in this indictment that they refer to a, quote, 12th grader, and they never refer to the student's age in it. Some 12th graders, by the nature of how we divide up grades in the US, most 12th graders will turn 18 during that school year. And some, especially considering the pandemic and students being left back and stuff like that, might even turn 19 during their last year of high school.
And, as we continue to live on social media, for a lot of us, and
it's also the cheerleading code.
Let's skip ahead and see who's good.
So a lot of these kinds of charges, and I'll give you an example. So I used to be in a very large state attorney's office. And while their names are not used, there's protections in the law to protect the identity.
All right, so I don't think they're giving anything like new, more probative after what we just watched. They're kind of just ad-libbing and kind of building on what they did. And the last thing I want to do is just take their intellectual property and just play the whole thing out. So we played like 5 minutes of it, approximately 5 minutes, 30 seconds of it. This is a 17-minute video. Please go over to Law and Crime. Make sure you catch the whole video. Check it out. This is a very qualified attorney who's going to give you really good insight into this case. Guys, I really, really, really hate the pedos, guys. And I'm going to keep saying it until you start believing me. Guys, please like, subscribe, join the channel. I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.